Nick. So I'm James. I don't quite know how I'm going to follow that, but hopefully you'll enjoy it. These poems are all from what I'm really pretentiously calling my debut poetry collection. It's called Nail Varnish, and this poem is called Felix. You're told regularly that your face is a revolution. Secretary girls and skinny indie boys think that you are the resolution to a backstreet Brixton mode of art. You have something in your eyes they take to heart. They speak some shit about your innocence, and they call you a winner since you're up on the walls of an art gallery, and the establishment thinks your body's poetry. I guess they're assuming that you're not the one that's been spraying the graffiti around like someone who has something to lose by defacing the murals. They put you on a magazine and your cheeks are epidural in their smile, and don't worry, it'll be a while before they lose interest in you. Help yourself to the toilet to score whatever keeps you going with your credit card. Nobody blames you because times are hard, and they could try all they like, but they can't take the artist from you. You say on the quiet where the money doesn't lurk, you've been messing around on some side work. Just don't let them see it, it's not like you need it. You've got catalogues of clothes, but you just can't feel it. And when you get home, the TV is on, and you're finding out what's wrong in the corners of a fridge-cold pizza box, and you write poems which are shit about girlfriends and locks and social anxiety, supposedly fixed by notoriety. On the canvas you carried home on the tube, you remind yourself of poets, and the brushes you choose try to speak for all the lyrics that you've got in your head, try to sleep with you at night when you get into your bed. But your hungover eyes don't photograph well. You need to look better or this won't sell. But skinny indie boys get bored when you're mainstream, and no one really listens to your creativity wet dream. And from your window you can see the queue is forming for a band, and you shut your eyes and you make fake wedding plans. They pay for your artwork with a Gaia-faced banknote. You're topical and classic, referencing to the Greeks wrote. You're painting all the faces that you see in a blur. You're Egon Schiele naked, and they love what occurs when your paint blood spills and your career is in tatters. But you're not being someone else, and they say that's what matters. One day some guy asks you what did you go through, and they could try all they liked, but the artist stayed with you. Thank you. I'm really bad at talking about my poetry in between poetry, so I'm just going to get on with the next one. But this one, this is called The Vlogses. I'm a married woman and my heart is a doormat. I'm a married man with myself in a hazmat. My wife's not radioactive, she's just sort of nice and placid, and I've got more interest in beat poetry and acid. We watch the TV till late, I've got this feeling like a yearning. I try and strike up conversation, but I really should be learning. I listen to him speak, but all I hear is preach. Days a far cry from getting stoned on the beach. We're the old couple in the Raymond Briggs cartoon, and we're as 1970s as the Tina Childs tune, and we're dying, slowly dying in the wasteland of the norm. So I tell him that I'm leaving to go and live in Benidorm. But when we're 60 and he's tricksy and he's playing with my words, and my daughter looks over and thinks we're just the worst, and when I tell her that it's better because we could be in a hearse, we'll still be eating at the pub, waiting for someone to talk first. I guess we're still together though, I love him very much, just sometimes he could do with smartening up a touch. I go to some room 19, but I just keep coming back. It's never really boredom, and it's never love we lack. I'm gonna read the next one from my phone. I had prepared what was basically a really depressing one, and I'm just not feeling it. So this one will hopefully be a little bit more entertaining. This poem is called Phoebe. She said her hair was falling out and she couldn't get the words she wanted out of her mouth. She said she'd made a mess of things, so she's sitting down in Nando's browsing wedding rings. She said, had I considered marriage? She said she'd always seen me as a bit savage and couldn't imagine me in a dress. She goes back to her phone, she takes her mind off going home alone, she doesn't think about the stress. She says her mother's all planet Earth. She says she's noticed her daughter doesn't have the same mirth anymore. She says her dad is all planning stuff. She says he's academic scruff. She says if he spent less time on his puns, maybe he'd have noticed she was feeling rough. She says she's got a boyfriend doing well. She says he's buying things and being swell. He's everything she's wanted. She said maybe she should take a break. She says that he's the stress and bellyache, but when she brings it up, he just looks haunted. She said she's going home despite herself. She's going to tell her folks about her mental health. She's going to make them try to get her help. She says she's going home despite her meal. She's going to write a song about how she feels. She's going to feel real. Thank you. That one was actually more depressing than I remember it being anyway. And that's basically the trend. I've got 2 more poems. This one is called Not Really a Poem About Road Trips. We talked about road trips. My head is constantly stuck on those corners, those traffic lights. The moment when I see you for the first time in ages, barely raising your eyes at me, and I don't know if I'll make the walk home. I might stop by your car and wait, and leave you telepathic messages, because somehow you must be hearing me, and someday you'll talk to me, maybe. But I keep looking out my window, thinking you'll be there or something, wondering when I'll stop missing you, wondering when I'll want to. So this is my last one. This is called 1959. If you've sort of vaguely enjoyed any of my poems, I have a Facebook page, which I'm just going to shamelessly plug. It's James Mortimer Poetry, so feel free to make me think people like my writing. That sounded really guilt-trippy, I'm really sorry. This is 1959. This dead American night doesn't let the sun go in. The purples in the sky taste of tonic and gin, and in your hair as it blows in the wind, the air of something new, something changing. We smoke our way to the edge of town. You try to wrestle the night the wrong way round. Sleeping beneath the lightning-burnt tree, I cover your eyes so you can't look at me. You carve our names with acid rain. There's a farmhouse just across the plain. You say, why don't we kill somebody? Why don't we kill somebody? My legs don't quite make the getaway. You smile with blood on your face. You don't hear what I say. You put your ring finger through my hair. You ask me, why are you so scared? I leave you on the porch of the night. I climb the tree and from the top, I hear you ask if I'm alright. You're long gone now. The black has swallowed you. They say I could have tried to stop you, but what could I do? They didn't know what we'd been through. They don't know how impossible life has made you. I wear your name on the skin of my arm. You cut into flesh, but you meant me no harm. Thank you.